the AI bubble is going to pop tomorrow. Probably. Maybe. I have no idea. So, guys, I think that there is going to be an AI bubble. I think that it's a very real thing. And I think that I don't know when it's going to happen. If I did, then I'd be a trillionaire. But I do have my thoughts. So let's get right into the video. This is my portfolio today. Up a good amount on the day. Happy about that. I think that, we have some time before it does happen, but I think it is probably something that's going to happen. So I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but let's get into the reasons where I do think it's going to happen. So first off, Yahoo Finance report. It's not just Sam Altman. If you guys don't know who that is the owner, the founder of ChatGPT, warning about an AI bubble. So the owner of the biggest AI company is warning about a bubble. That's probably not a good thing. Mark Zuckerberg also says a collapse is definitely a possibility. So just not him, it's Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta, Facebook. So Deutsche Bank called it the summer AI turned ugly for weeks with every new bit of evidence. I'm not going to read through all of this, but AI is looking kind of scary. And an August study from MIT found that 95% of AI programs are failing to deliver any return on investment. And despite over $40 billion being poured into this space, 95% of AI programs are returning $0. So that's kind of scary as well. And the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, who noted that the US was witnessing unusually large amounts of economic activity in building out AI capabilities. Very similar to what happened in the dot-com bubble. In the dot-com bubble, you can't even see it anymore because that's just how the stock market works. It just grows so fast and so well over time that you can't even tell that there was a dot-com bubble. But in 2000 is when that happened, and the stock market dropped. I'm not sure if you can see it, maybe multiples wise, but we see, it was about $152 the stock market, and it dropped to around $80. So, I mean, pretty sizable, $70 drop from $150. It's almost about 50%. But if all in all, the stock market dropped almost 80% over 3 years. It dropped 78% when the dot-com bubble happened. That's a lot. That's a lot for the stock market. The indexes to drop 80% in 3 years. It's unheard of for sure, and it's a bubble. It's something that only happens if there's a big thing happening that happens in the economy, and potentially we see the AI is potentially gonna outpace practical productivity and returns and risking a market crash. Definitely going to see that in the next few slides. And yeah, just a lot of talk about that. There's a lot of probably, in these instances, he claimed that bubbles occurred due to businesses taking on too much debt, macroeconomic factors, or product demand waning, leading to companies going under and leaving behind valuable assets. Even in Meta, it's looking kind of scary with how much they're investing in AI. I think that's why Mark Zuckerberg went out and talked about it. So we see right here, this is the article that MIT really, they really did. MIT really published this. We see MIT right here. They published this article and they were doing research. Despite $30 to $40 billion in enterprise investment into Gen AI, this report uncovers a surprising result that 95% of organizations are getting zero returns, which is, insane because you think of AI, these startups and, these builders that people have, and you think, okay, we're going to make a bunch of money. We have the next big thing. Only 5% of them are making money, which is pretty insane when you think about it. I mean, it's, kind of scary, honestly, with how much these companies are spending on AI. If we look right here, this is the CapEx of Microsoft. Let's look at this. We see in 2016, it didn't really go up that much. I mean, look at the multiples here. It goes up year over year as companies increase their revenue. I mean, let's take a look at Microsoft stock real quick and let's look at their earnings. They're making more money quarter over quarter. I mean, they're a growing company. Look, they're getting higher and higher earnings as a company does that's growing, and a lot of these companies are. Microsoft is. Let's see, Apple is as well. I mean, they're, up there, they're making money. Amazon is making money. I could show you guys every single Mag 7 stock. All of them are making more money than they did, last quarter or around there. They're not losing a bunch of money. They're making a lot of money just as they're amazing stocks. So it's the Mag 7, the Magnificent 7 for a reason. They're amazing stocks that people want to own. So Microsoft's capital expenditures, we see that it just absolutely skyrockets at Q1 2023 to Q3 2024. This isn't even, 2025 quarters, which it's still going up at this rate. There's been no sign of slowing down. It's maybe even a steeper curve at this point. But I mean, just look at how, if you compare these, we see from 2016 to 2022, it's probably about the same as 2023 to 2024. So 6 years is the same as much, not even 1 year. Really, this is the same. I mean, just about 1 year, it's the same, rise, which is pretty, scary. I mean, for a stock's capex to rise that much, and I don't think Microsoft making, what they made in 6 years in 1 year now. I don't think that that's what's happening. Maybe it is. I'd love to be proved wrong, but looking at their financials, it doesn't look like that's what was happening. This is a metric that really scares me. This metric really scares me, to be honest. I mean, I look at this and I see 2015 to 2016, their capex is increasing. That's obviously what I'm making this video for. I don't think companies' capexes are supposed to decrease or increase by 2% year over year. I think the company's capex should increase, maybe 30% a quarter. That seems pretty fair to me. I think that somewhere around that, it definitely depends on the company's growth rates, but as long as you can increase your capex at a lower rate of the profit you're making, then you're probably doing all right. It's probably good for your company. But when it gets into scary territory is when your capex is almost exceeding your profit margins and you need to start taking out debt just to compete with your competitors. That's where it gets scary. So let's see right here. I mean, just look at 2015 to 2016. They only added 7 billion. I mean, it was 30%, but it's all relative. We see 30%, 70%, pretty crazy year, but then 3% the next year. Something like, 70%, but then 3%, kind of balanced out, did what you did last 2 years. Up 38%, 34%, 19%, down 3%, just another year, kind of scaling back, just keeping it, letting things settle out. But now it's up 55%, which it's been up 70. That's fine. But then the year after that, it went up 3. It was 73% over 2 years. This is almost 100% over 2 years. This is just what's projected for 2025. I think that it could be more. So, and this is just the 4, biggest companies in the world. They're increasing their capex by 55% from 2023 to 2024. Their growth rates, I'll tell you right now, were not 55%. Same thing with 2024 to 2025. Their growth rates and their profit margins did not increase 42%. Their profit did not increase 42% over the year. If it did, that would be great. That would be a great thing for the company, but it just didn't. We went over Amazon earnings the other day or Google earnings the other day if you guys wanted to see that. And let's look at, quarter over quarter, because this is the earnings report. Let's see where, what they did on, net sales. Let's see what they did net sales. They're up 13%. So if your net sales are up 13%, but you're, increasing your capex by 42%, something's not right. Something's probably going to implode. It looks like a bubble. It looks like that companies are going to have to start spending money that they don't want to spend, or they're going to need to cut back completely on AI, which is going to send a lot of companies spiraling down. It's just, I mean, I don't know if it'll do the broad market, but a lot of you guys watching this probably own a lot of, tech stocks like I do. I own, I don't really own much of ETFs. I do have some SCHG, which is heavily tech, but I do have mostly, AMD, SoFi, Google, Amazon. These are my top holdings right here. So if the tech bubble does, happen, I'd feel it very heavily. I for sure would, and you guys probably would too. But that's why I'm saying, this increase of 42%, it's scary. It's definitely scary, especially with what Amazon is doing in net sales. And even, I mean, let's look at their operating income. It's up 30%, but that's not 42%. That's not 55%. And then again, 40%. And then you see their net income's up 35%, but that's over quarter too. It's not over the year. So I don't know. I'm definitely getting scared about Amazon. And then this is another metric I wanted to show. Look at their free cash flow. This is one of the biggest companies in the world, the one that, they're on this metric for CapEx hyperscaling by year. We see up 55%, 42%. Their cash flow is dissipating fast. It went down 5,000. It went down 9,000. It went down 13,000. And then just in one quarter again right here, it went down 7,000. So if they keep at this rate, they're going to go under. They're going to be they're going to have Amazon is going to have a negative free cash flow at the end of this year if they do go under. So that's just some food for thought. That shows that it's probably going to happen pretty soon, if I had to guess, because I don't think Amazon's going to, really reduce their free cash flow all of a sudden. I think that they're going to keep doing this just to keep up. And this is a scary metric. I think that a lot of people are seeing this and thinking, it's not something you want to see with these big companies that a lot of people own a lot of. And then we also see big tech's AI-fueled spending spree. I wanted to show you guys this as well. We see that, just look at how much these past few years it's really rising, because there was levels of stability. To say, for lack of better words, there was levels of stability in these past couple of years. We see 2020, it went up a good amount, but it's just, it kind of settled in 2021 right here. You went down for a quarter, which is, not you go down, it's like you're thinking probably just a little bit of, the stock settling out. They up their capex and now they're chilling out a little bit. They're going to take some time to up that free cash flow. Same thing happens right here at the end of the quarter, just the beginning of this one. They're chilling out a little bit, and that seems to be the case. I mean, a lot of the time at the beginning of the quarter for every single one of these companies, they're lowering their capex at the first quarter because they probably want to have some room to make more free cash flow. This year, something different happened. They couldn't afford to do that. Every company is competing too heavily, and I don't think their free cash flow is going to stop quarter one 2025. And it's not on this metric, but it didn't. Surprise. But yeah, I mean, the first quarter, this is the only one you see 2024 where it actually went up. At the end of all these other quarters, this one drastic drop, and then this one it's just going up a little bit, but then drastic, very drastic right here. And then if it keeps going, it's probably going to be the same thing. So it's just some food for thought today, showing you guys that the AI bubble could be a thing. I'm not here for conspiracy theories. If you guys watch my channel, you know that I'm not one to make up a bunch of stuff. I just, I like to keep it real and stay true to what the market's actually doing. And I think that is what's truly going on, is that we're in a scary spot. There's, probably an AI bubble coming up. A lot of AI stocks are very inflated. I mean, the price of the S&P is very inflated. Just a random AI company right here. I mean, just look at the numbers that they've done. They're down 82% all the time. There's just a lot of random stuff going on, because then that one's down, and then you look at another AI company. Like, look at all these AI companies. SoundHound. I mean, there's just so many random AI companies. This one's up a bunch all the time. You see it was once $1, now it's 16. But then it was once almost 23. I mean, there's just a lot going on in the stock market. And it's like, you never know where to invest your money. But the S&P is very inflated right now. It does reach new all-time highs constantly, but it's really on one of those runs right now where there's probably going to be a pullback, and if not a pullback, a little bit of a bear market. So that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys for watching. New videos every single day. You know where to find me. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.